I want to buy this.
Great. And as a bonus, I'll throw in What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams.
No, thank you.
No charge.
I do not want it.
But it's free, sir.
If that DVD even touches Roadhouse, I will kill you.
What's going on, guys? I hope you're all having a good day. So it looks like we are getting closer to COD Next. We're actually going to be receiving some kind of trailer for Black Ops 7 that's going to be revealing a lot of the zombies content and the multiplayer content a little bit earlier than expected. I don't know if this is going to be like a teaser trailer. I don't know if it's going to be a full breakdown trailer. At this point, we're just kind of sitting here waiting for them to reveal any more information. And because, you know, just a little bit of information that they've shown so far has generated pretty much zero hype for the game. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that nobody's excited for Black Ops 7 except for maybe the zombies community, and I really hope that the zombies community gets a good, game this year. And I just have a feeling that it may not end up as good as everyone is expecting. I think everyone has a little bit too much hope going for the game, especially knowing who's behind the development cycle of this year's Call of Duty, because if they're messing up a lot of stuff for last year's Call of Duty like Black Ops 6, then it's safe to say that they may just be, pulling the blanket over our heads and messing up this year's as well, and really trying to play it off like they really know what they're doing, when we've kind of proven already that they can't even handle this year's Call of Duty. They've already proven that they're going to be pulling stuff from Black Ops 6 over into Black Ops 7 just to pad out the content until Modern Warfare 4 comes out in 2026. So at this point, we're sitting here wondering and scratching our head what the hell is going on. We actually got quite a bit to talk about today, and I'm just gonna go over a lot of what people are talking about, what the community's really looking forward to with this trailer that comes out today. But before we get into that, make sure you guys leave a like and make sure to subscribe, because we are on the way to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So let's go ahead and see what the community is talking about for this upcoming trailer, because I think it's just really funny what everyone's asking for, and just kind of what the general consensus is for this new title coming out this year. All you have to do is really look around and just kind of like look at some of the basic social medias. You can go over to the subreddit that is specific for Black Ops 7, and of course when you go in there you realize that there's only about like 5,000 people on that server and about 10 people online, which is really crazy, because if you go over to say like Battlefield 6, there's almost 100,000 people on that subreddit, and usually about 100 people online just discussing about the game, just because there's a lot more to talk about with that one. There's so much more interesting stuff and plenty of things leaking from the Battlefield labs, whether it's the Battle Royale, whether it's the new multiplayer, whether it's new footage of new guns that we haven't been able to use yet, and just way more excitement for Battlefield than there is for Call of Duty. And whenever you look at stuff for Call of Duty, it's really funny to read any comments about it, because most of the time you have your generic comments of people saying that they're going to go get Battlefield 6 over Black Ops, which is about the basic one you always see. And then there's always, the certain ones that really pique my interest, because half of the comments is usually talking about how there's, people who were banned wrongly for AFKing, and which they really want fixed. And then of course the majority of comments that I see about all the time is the discussion about a strict skill-based matchmaking inside of Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company.
I've talked about skill-based matchmaking once or twice in a couple of my videos, but I haven't really gone in depth about like how it affects me and how it affects everybody else. Like I have told before in a couple of my videos, especially, like this is one of my main gripes with that system specifically, right? I'll put my foot down and talk about how skill-based matchmaking works for me, at least, right? I don't think I'm like the best player in any case of the word, right? It just, I've got Black Ops 2 gameplay happening in the background. I'm not dropping, nuclears every single game. I'm not dropping a swarm or a canine unit every game, but if I'm lucky enough, I might get myself, or get my team an orbital VSAT and really help us win the game. But in my case, right, I've got off and on good games and off and on bad games. So here I'm sitting with kind of around average. I would say I'm a little bit around average as a player. But the problem is that when I play with, some of my friends, some of them are actually really good, and then some of them I would say aren't as good. So when we play the games together, you've got this wide range of skills. And that's my main issue with skill-based matchmaking, is that if you play with a wide range of skills in your party, one party gets to have fun sometimes and the other party doesn't get to. The one person that may not be as good in the game has to suffer because they're playing with people that are better at them in the the game, which wasn't always the case ever in the older games, right? If I join a Black Ops 2 lobby on PC, which is a huge risk to my own safety, but I'd much rather be playing that than sit there and mess around with anything else, right? And of course, you know, October 10th, I'm probably going to be playing more Battlefield 6 than anything. I'm, you know, really looking forward to that. But for now, I'm playing Black Ops 2, and when I get into a lobby and I see someone dropping, you know, 3,000 points in a single TDM match, they're usually getting around 30 kills. So I know that player is going to be really good, and you got to be sure to look out for those guys. But the thing is that you're going to be staying in that lobby. You're going to be staying, you know, it's the same thing with disbanding lobbies. You're going to stay in that lobby, and you're going to have to deal with that person more than likely, unless you want to leave. And you really can't leave in the current version of PC fucking Black Ops 2, because there's almost only about 150 people online, and there's maybe 2 or 3 servers running a TDM match at one time. So when you sit there and get into a game, right, this is what skill-based matchmaking is supposed to protect you from. This is, you know, it's supposed to take all the low tier, you know, lower skill players and put them into a bracket all on their own. They're all sitting down in this lower bracket so they can sit there and play amongst each other. And the problem is that for the higher skill players, they're all up in a higher skill area playing against other high skill players. So for Treyarch and Activision, from their perspective, this is exactly what they would want. Skill-based matchmaking is going to be a form for them to use so they can keep the younger people, the people who may not have a thumb and a nose to fucking use their controller with. So now they're sitting here and making us wonder, where are all the lower skill players, right? Every single match I play, I'm playing against the sweatiest people possible. It's the entirety of FaZe Clan. It's the entirety of Optic sitting over there on the other team, completely washing you because you had one good game. All I want to be able to do is play with my friends, you know, of all different varying levels, right? If I play Counter-Strike with friends, I've got people who, you know, I'm one of those people that probably sits down on the bottom of the leaderboard going 2-16 all through every single round. But sometimes I do well in that game, and sometimes I don't. It's the same thing for, you know, just normal old school Call of Duty. But when you play the newer stuff, when you play the newer games with skill-based matchmaking, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like you really have to try over and over, and it just doesn't feel interesting, right? Your friends can't play with you. The queue times feel like they take forever because they're looking for you, you know, 6 other people of your specific skill to put you up against, and for whatever reason you end up getting 5 other teammates that really don't know what the hell they're doing half the time, right? That was my main gripe with skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty. It's my main gripe with skill-based matchmaking in Halo Infinite. It's my main gripe with skill-based matchmaking in any game that runs a strict skill-based matchmaking. If Black Ops 7 wants to come out and they're going to have the same skill-based matchmaking bracket system, they really need to consider to rework this, because, you know, I don't think people are going to be excited for the games either way. That's like one of the biggest complaints that I see online, right? A lot of people were saying, which I thought was really funny, if the trailer isn't just straight up a big white background with black text that says, you know, we removed skill-based matchmaking, I don't think people are going to be very excited for the game. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you to not buy the game. I can't sit here. I mean, I have said that before. I've implored people to not buy the game because it's the only way to get them to listen to any feedback, right? They sit there and now they're telling us that they're now committed to listening to the community feedback. They're now committed to, you know, giving us what we want, when the last 5 years they haven't listened to a damn thing we've asked for. We've asked for things like this to be changed. We've asked for things to be, you know, different, and yet they've ignored us. They even at the beginning of Black Ops 7 being revealed at the Gamescom, when everybody fucking ignored their trailer and basically had no reaction at all, the developers decided that they were going to, you know, go out there and say, oh, you know, just ignore all of it, just ignore all this, you know, negative feedback, and, you know, we want, you know, valid criticism. And it's like, what, us telling you this isn't criticism? You guys are just gonna sit there and, you know, tell us that we're wrong half the time? It's like, remember the erroneous blood splatter? Like, you watch any of these older, you know, Call of Duty videos that were coming out from this last year, the whole thing about the erroneous blood splatters, and it was complete, you know, wrong thing. I'm pretty sure Twitter even like had to, you know, community note their post about it because it was wrong. It was sitting there, you know, a connection issue. And that's another thing, right? It's the servers, it's the skill-based matchmaking, it's the bugs, it's the map design. It's always something with Call of Duty every single year, and people are completely fed up with it. I'm one of those people who has been fed up with the game since MW 2022. I realized what they were doing. I realized what the skill-based matchmaking was trying to do to us, and I didn't like it. I moved away from the series. The only time I've been able to play any of the new stuff is that I go over to a friend's house who just can't help himself but buy every single Call of Duty every year. So that's when I get a chance to play it. You know, I go over there on the weekends, we have a good time, and then, you know, sometimes when it's late at night, I jump on Call of Duty and sit there and play it. I'm not buying the game. I certainly don't wish to buy the game because I don't feel like it. What do you guys think about this entire kind of environment around Call of Duty? Is it just like too much negativity to even like pay attention to at this point? Or are you guys, you know, just kind of ignoring everything and just, you know, willing to buy the game generally? Like, I'm not hating on you guys for wanting to buy said Black Ops 7, but at the same time, if you end up buying the game, you already know what you're going to get into. It's going to be a complete slop fest. It's going to be AI generated store bundles. I mean, it's just, we can't sit here and buy these games every year without any major changes. And I know people are asking for the major changes of disbanding lobbies, removing of SBMM, and, you know, fixing the servers, fixing all sorts of other stuff. And I do enjoy hearing what you guys have to say in the comments. So please do leave a comment and let me know how you guys are feeling about it. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. See you later. Bye.